Who doesn't love a great story? And what makes a story truly memorable? Sure, you need a strong hero, but just as important, if not more so, is the villain. The word villain itself has a fascinating history. It comes from the old French word vilain, which means peasant or farmhand. Back in medieval times, it was used to describe people from the countryside who were considered uncivilized by city folk. Over time, the term evolved to mean someone morally corrupt or the antagonist in a story. So, in a way, villains started out as just misunderstood outsiders. Funny, isn't it? But villains are the heartbeat of any franchise. They challenge the hero, give the story stakes, and often bring a unique flair that makes them unforgettable. A great villain keeps the audiences on their toes, and in the case of Sonic the Hedgehog, there's no villain more iconic than Dr. Robotnik, or Eggman as he's more commonly known today. Dr. Eggman is a character who's evolved as much as Sonic himself. Whether he's menacing, bumbling, or downright hilarious, Eggman has always been a critical part of the franchise's heart and soul. He's the kind of villain you can't help but laugh at one minute and take seriously the next. His schemes may be wild, his ambitions grand, but one thing remains constant. He is Sonic's ultimate foil. So today, we'll be diving into the brilliant, bizarre, and sometimes downright baffling character of Dr. Eggman. I'm the optimistic Sonic fan, and I like Dr. Eggman! Every great hero needs a worthy adversary, and for Sonic the Hedgehog, that honor belongs to none other than Dr. Robotnik, or Eggman as he's now more commonly known. But where did this iconic villain come from, and how did he evolve into the character we know today? Dr. Eggman's origins trace back to the development of Sonic the Hedgehog in 1991, when Sega sought to create a new mascot to rival Nintendo's Mario. Sonic's creation was overseen by a team of talented designers, including Naoto Oshima, who was also designing Dr. Robotnik. Interestingly, Eggman wasn't originally conceived as a villain. Early concept sketches depict him as a jolly mustache figure in pajamas intended to be the protagonist of a different game. Sega's executives ultimately decided he didn't fit in a hero, but saw potential for him as Sonic's nemesis. With his round body, oversized goggles, and distinctive mustache, Eggman became the perfect contrast to Sonic's sleeky, edgy design. Oshima envisioned the Eggman as a cartoonish blend of humor and menace, drawing inspiration from Western villains like Theodore Roosevelt and classic robot designs. This fusion of goofy charm and mechanical genius gave Eggman an enduring appeal. Over the years, his design evolved, but key elements, his red outfit, trademark mustache, and round physique remained consistent. In the early Western release, he was dubbed Dr. Robotnik, highlighting his technological prowess. However, in Japan, he was always known as Dr. Eggman, a nod to his egg-shaped body. By the early 2000s, Sega unified his name globally as Dr. Eggman, reflecting his quirky, comical nature while maintaining his legacy as a formidable foe. Eggman's role expanded significantly across different media.
Why does that cursed Sonic always get in my way?
In the Sonic video games, he's constantly portrayed as a mad scientist, building elaborate machines and schemes to conquer the world. animated series offered distinctive interpretations of his character.
You're mean. You're malicious. You're my kind of rotten.
From the slapstick antics of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog to the menacing tyrant of Sad AM.
Nasty little hedgehog, as well as all the other so-called.
In the comics, Dr. Eggman took on even greater depth. Archie Comics portrayed him as a ruthless dictator in the form of Robotnik Prime, whose schemes often pushed Sonic and his friends to their limits. Meanwhile, IDW Comics offered a more nuanced Eggman, blending his humorous quirks with genuinely menacing moments, such as his role in the Metal Virus saga. Dr. Eggman's evolution over the decades speaks to the strength of his character design and personality. Whether he's a goofy inventor or a dark overlord, one thing is certain. Dr. Eggman remains a cornerstone of the Sonic franchise, proving that a great villain can be just as memorable, if not more so, than the hero. Dr. Robotnik, or Eggman as he's lovingly known today, is a character with layers upon layers of personality.
Stop him, no matter what. No, hold your fire. Here we go. What have you done?
At his core, he embodies the classic traits of a mad scientist. Brilliant, yet bumbling. Egotistical, yet oddly endearing.
Work, you losers! You owe me!
This is Dr. Robotnik! Robocop call for Dr. Robotnik!
How dare you interrupt me now! I want my monument finished in time for Robotnik Day!
Ooh, I didn't know there was a Robotnik Day.
Of course there's a Robotnik Day! I just declared it 1 minute ago in honor of myself!
But there's so much more to him than just over-the-top schemes and chaotic ambitions. One of Eggman's defining traits is his unparalleled intellect.
Like this!
Ahem.
Oh yeah.
The man's a mechanical genius who's built everything from the iconic Eggmobile to the elaborate bases like the Death Egg.
Surprise!
Not to mention his countless badniks and larger-than-life machines.
We thought you was toast.
What are you two clanking oil cans talking about?
His intelligence allows him to come up with the ingenious, albeit ridiculous, plans to take over the world, or at the very least, crush Sonic. However, despite his brilliance, his overconfidence is often his undoing.
Your flying eggs are pretty impressive, Mr. Eggman. But let's face it, you'll never catch me.
Confidence. A fool's substitute for intelligence.
Time and time again, Eggman's arrogance blinds him to the glaring flaws of his schemes, leading to some hilarious and disastrous results.
I was not expecting that. But I was expecting not to expect something, so it doesn't count.
Eggman is also the epitome of persistence. No matter how many times Sonic foils his plans, he never gives up. There's something almost admirable about his tenacity. While his ambitions are unquestionably villainous, his sheer determination to keep going, whether building a new Doomsday device or dreaming up a fresh way to outwit Sonic, has become a cornerstone of his character.
Even bigger than that one.
Game over, Eggman! Shut off the Doomsday devices!
Shut off! Who puts an off switch on a Doomsday device?
But it's not just his brains and his persistence that stand out. It's his over-the-top personality that truly steals the show.
Inside these tanks,
Eggman is theatrically the core. Whether he's delivering a monologue about his latest evil plot or yelling antics bring a sense of humor and whimsy to the Sonic franchise. He's the kind of villain who can be utterly menacing one moment and laugh out loud funny the next. This balance of menace and comedy is part of what makes him so beloved by many fans. Eggman's humanity adds yet another layer to his character. Beneath all of his machines and bravado, there are glimpses of a lonely, deeply flawed individual.
I helped you retrieve the emerald, and you use it to destroy the hedgehog!
His strained relationship with his creations, whether it's yelling at Scratching or Grounder, dismantling Orbot and Cubot, or obsessing over Metal Sonic, often hint at an underlying desire for companionship and respect.
My favorite hand!
Really, my hand is uninjured. But I am now convinced of your commitment.
Oh, goody! He exclaimed while he reset two of his knuckles. I'm delighted to be on the same team. Road trip. I'll let you stick your nose out the window.
These small moments of vulnerability make him more relatable, reminding us that even the most villainous characters are still human, or in his case, hilariously egg-shaped. It's also worth knowing how his personality varies across different Venia. In the games, he's often a mix of comical and dangerous, with moments of true menace such as in Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Forces. In Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, he's a slapstick villain, while in Sad AM, he's a dark and tyrannical figure ruling over Robotropolis with an iron fist. In the comics, especially in Archie comics, he's a much more sinister and calculating foe. These different portrayals highlight the versatility of Eggman's character. Dr. Eggman's personality and traits make him one of the most entertaining and dynamic villains in video game history. He's equal parts genius, egotistic, clown, and tyrant, always keeping guessing what he'll do next. When it comes to scheming, few villains can match the creativity and sheer audacity of Dr. Robotnik, aka Eggman. His motivations may be simple on the surface, world domination, total control, and outwitting Sonic, but the ways he goes about achieving them are anything but ordinary.
I do miss the beauty of this place when I'm away.
In the Sonic games, Eggman's schemes have always been about power and control. From his earliest plots in Sonic the Hedgehog 1991, where he used animals to power his Batnik armies, to his grander plans like the construction of the Death Egg, a clear homage to the Death Star from Star Wars. Eggman has constantly pushed the boundaries of villainy. He doesn't just want to defeat Sonic, he wants to reshape the world in his image, sometimes literally. Take Sonic Generations, for example, where Eggman teams up with his past self to create chaos across time and space. Or Sonic Unleashed, where his schemes involve awakening a literal god of destruction, Dark Gaia, to tear the planet apart. What drives Eggman's endless ambition? At its core, it seems to be a mix of ego and rivalry. Eggman's self-image as the smartest, most capable individual on Mobius fuels his need to prove himself superior, especially to Sonic.
I understand nothing of what you just said.
His battles with the Blue Blur are as much about personal pride as they are about conquest. Every time Sonic thwarts his plans, Eggman comes back stronger, more determined, and often with an even more outrageous invention. Whether it's the Egg Dragoon, the Egg Viper, or the final Eggman boss machines, his creations are always a testament to his genius and his flair for the dramatic. The animated shows take his schemes in different directions. In Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, his plans are often comically absurd, from building robots that mimic Sonic to setting elaborate traps that inevitably backfire. But in Sad AM, his motivations take a darker turn. Here, Robotnik has already succeeded in conquering Mobotropolis, turning it into the dystopian Robotropolis. His goal is absolute domination, and his roboticizer, used to turn living beings into mindless robots, is a chilling reminder of his willingness to destroy lives for power. In the comics, Eggman's schemes reach even greater heights. In Archie Comics, his quest for control leads to some of the most intense storylines in the series, like when he successfully conquers Sonic's home in the Eggman Empire arc. Meanwhile, in IDW Comics, his actions during the Metal Virus saga demonstrate the devastating consequences of his unchecked ambition. The Metal Virus, a substance that zombifies anyone it touches, showcases Eggman's genius at its most terrifying and his lack of concern for collateral damage. Yet, beneath all the grand plans and the wild machines, there's a sense that Eggman's motivation is deeply personal. His rivalry with Sonic isn't just a plot device, it's the heart of his character. Eggman doesn't just want to rule, he wants to beat Sonic. Whether he's trapping Sonic in a pinball machine, or creating an evil counterpart like Metal Sonic, his schemes are always tied to his need to outshine his eternal nemesis. Dr. Eggman's motivations might be rooted in ego and ambition, but his sheer creativity and determination are what makes him such an unforgettable villain. His schemes may be doomed to fail, but they never fail to entertain. Hey, who turned out the lights? Alright, let's be real for a moment. While I generally like Dr. Eggman as a character, not everything about his portrayal hits the mark for me. For starters, his early design as exclusively round and comically overweight often made him feel more humorous than threatening. While I get that the egg shape is part of his charm, it was tough to take him seriously as a villain early on. He came across as more of a gag character rather than a formidable opponent for Sonic. Then there's his personality in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. While it was undoubtedly funny at times, he often acted like a spoiled brat throwing tantrums, which undetermined his genius and made him seem, dare I say, a little too goofy. It's fun in small doses, but after a while it felt like it cheapened his potential as an antagonist. And let's not forget Sad AM. While I can appreciate the darker, more dystopian take on his character, I felt that the pendulum swung too far in the other direction. Robotnik was so dark and menacing in that series that he crossed into creepy territory, more nightmare fuel than a villain you can enjoy watching. It's an interesting interpretation, but for me, it drained the fun out of the character and made him almost too evil to root against. There, I said it. Now leave me alone! Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Eggman, the mad scientist with a round body and a larger-than-life personality. Through decades of games, shows, and comics, he's evolved into one of the most iconic villains in gaming history. Whether he's creating elaborate doomsday machines, shouting about his hatred for Sonic, or showcasing his mix of brilliance and buffoonery, Eggman never fails to entertain. Yes, he had his ups and downs, both in his schemes and his portrayals, but that's part of what makes him so fascinating. At his best, he's a character who can make us laugh, keep us on the edge of our seats, and remind us that even villains can be complex and compelling. At the end of the day, Dr. Eggman is more than just Sonic's nemesis. He's a key piece of the Sonic franchise's heart and soul. Love him or hate him, you can't deny that the series wouldn't be the same without him. I'm the optimistic Sonic fan, and I'll see you next time.